Welcome to NotACritic, where two movie lovers watch movies that critics hated and either defend them or concede that even a critic can be right sometimes. So what movie are we doing this week? Do you remember?
I can't recall. I don't have any independent thought about it.
Oh, see, I can't recall. You should use that line if we ever do Total Recall.
I was thinking about Total Recall, but the original, is it real? Is it not?
The
Independence
movie?
Day.
It's real. I've seen it.
Resurgence.
Independence Day Resurgence is the movie. So, if anyone's wondering, it's early in the morning and neither of us want to be awake. So we're trying to not live because it's pre-recorded. We are pre-recorded during this show, trying to wake up and remember what fake personalities we use for the purposes of this show. So,
And if that came through, that's not a sound effect.
slap yourself awake. Okay, so as we always do, I'm going to read a pre-prepared. Do you need to say pre-prepared or just prepared? Mm-hmm. What is paired?
Putting two things together or slicing things apart.
Weird. So when I prepare this, am I pre-slicing it or am I pre-assembling it? I guess I'm pre-assembling it. But there's more than two words. I have 5 pages.
Yeah. Well, pears come in bags of more than 2 as well.
I guess I have a
Are
bag
they
of
still
4
pears
pairs in
at
there.
this point? We might as well just call them apples.
It's 2 pairs of pears. 2 pairs of 2 pairs. If you have 4 pairs. So, all right.
No, then that would be 4 pairs of 2 pairs if you had 4 pairs.
I have 4 pairs. It's 2 pairs of 2 pairs.
That's 8.
Because there's 2 pairs in a pair.
2 pairs of 2 pairs is
4 pairs of 2 pairs is
Is
see,
8.
this is why we have such a problem with our stars at the end. We can't do the basic math. So I'm gonna just go ahead. We're doing Independence Day Resurgence today. It's Resurgence, right? Not a resurrection?
Resurgence.
There's a lot of R's. We had Resurrection,
Oh,
Resurrections last week. Where are you going with this?
Pirates of the Caribbean, so we could do.
Oh, okay. We could. I wonder if they got bad reviews. So anyways, Independence Day, Resurgence, plot synopsis, cut to footage. The movie opens with a shot of a huge alien ship hugging a faraway planet while an alien on the ship stares at pictures of Earth and absolutely hate watching the president's speech from the end of the first Independence Day movie.
See, now the first Independence Day got a better review, so you'd think you'd enjoy that.
Arguably a better movie, but the aliens did not enjoy it. Then, an aged, bearded version of the president wakes up, so this was a dream, I guess? Or telepathy? Or something, it's unclear. But I'll give the opening sequence one thing, it does really set the tone for how much sense this movie is going to make. And the president really enjoys drawing circles. Like a lot of people in this movie just love drawing circles. Circles are like super cool in the universe of Independence Day.
Remember that, because that's going to come full circle.
I do. I use the word circle many times in this synopsis. But this is already 5 pages long, and I'm already digressing. We then immediately cut to the current president rehearsing a speech about exposition where she kindly explains a bunch of stuff we need to know to understand the movie. The president's speech from the first movie was a very popular moment, so I would imagine more presidential speeches was on the list for the sequel. The president is a big Will Smith fan. She has a poster of him on her wall. And, you like that? And oh hey, this is Will Smith's characters from the first movie's son. It's implied that Will Smith is dead now, likely for budgetary reasons. A few of the characters chat, because
we're not having you back in this movie. He goes, well, that's a real slap in the face.
Oh, you can't steal my face slap jokes. A few of the characters chat and explain to the audience who they are, and we all find out that this White House staff person is the president's daughter from the first movie.
Interesting factoid, you know that this is the actress that played the original daughter in the original movie.
Is it really?
No.
Because it's not. Because that was actually a controversy when this movie came out. Because the actor that played the little girl in the first movie is like an actual working Hollywood actor. And she didn't get the role to replay her own role. They chose somebody else.
I literally put that in there as Revenge on the Matrix.
Yeah, Revenge of the Matrix. Is that a movie? So Chris Hemsworth lives on the moon and is part of some sort of moon defense situation.
That's not Chris Hemsworth.
Luke Hemsworth?
That's the least popular one.
Jake Hemsworth?
Okay, now you're just making stuff up.
Who is it then?
It's Liam.
You sure that's his name?
He has a particular set of skills.
I think you're thinking of Liam Neeson.
Oh, right, this is Liam Hemsworth.
Liam Hemsworth. Okay. Anyways, Space Hemsworth has to do a thing where we learn that his little mining ship has a fusion drive that is dangerous to use for some reason. I'm sure that won't come up later or anything.
Yeah.
Flash to Area 51, and all the alien prisoners are waking up and wiggling their tentacles. Space Hemsworth from the moon is dating the president's daughter. Now, we flash to Central Africa, and hey, Jeff Goldblum's in this movie. Would you look at that? He's from the first movie too. Anyways.
That's just chaos.
It is. Jeff Goldblum, that's your theory anyways. Jeff Goldblum and Discount John Oliver are heading to a crashed alien ship that is also coming to life. Kind of looks like him, eh? Do you know who John Oliver is? Okay.
Yes.
Jeff Goldblum, Discount John Oliver, an African warlord and a psychiatrist for some reason, go into the ship that the warlord and his guys cleared out and find a signal. Jeff Goldblum is always finding signals. But this time it's not a countdown, it's a distress call. Oh no! So we find out that Space Hemsworth is engaged to the president's daughter / president's assistant, and they are both friends with Will Smith's stand-in. Seriously, does everyone in this movie know each other? Like, I feel like the universe of Independence Day has like 8 people, and they just all know each other and are in this movie. Or their kids.
Yeah, I bring up a little bit about that.
I'm sure we'll talk about it, because it's weird. So we get some more clunky exposition as a reporter decided it's important to explain to Will Smith's son how Will Smith died, and by extension, why he isn't in the movie. He gets a phone call from stripper mom, who is now Dr. Mom, and then quickly flies to the moon in an airplane with no spacesuit or anything because alien tech or something. They set up a possible love story between 2 side characters, but I don't care, so I'm not going to mention it again. The Will Smith substitute character walks up to someone who he felt wronged by and hits him hard in the face and then makes a remark. Foreshadowing for real life, kind of. Brent Spiner has been in a coma for 7,300 days. We know this because his boyfriend tells him, but he wakes up abruptly like nothing happened. A lot is made about a circle drawing that keeps coming up. Brent Spiner makes some too. There's kind of a portal thing, and a circle comes through it that looks suspiciously similar to the circle that everyone has seen in their dreams. It's clearly different than the ships that attacked them, which Jeff Goldblum points out, but humans kill, so humans kill. The movie spends a few minutes trying to make us care about the characters, but let's be honest, that's not why we're here. Hey look, it's Jeff Goldblum's dad. He was also from the first movie, so he's back too.
Just not the president's daughter.
No. There are more presidential speeches. President Bill Pullman interrupts the other president's speech to make his own presidential speech, but his head hurts, so he just makes some funny faces instead. Jeff Goldblum is now on the moon, and he finds another circle. Then the real threat appears. It's a giant circle. But this one's really big and flat. Somehow their alien tech augmented defenses missed a 3,000-mile diameter circle approaching the planet. Space Hemsworth grabs the smaller circle and does some Space Hemsworth things in his Space Hemsworth ship. The giant alien ship blows up the moon base and heads for Earth, giving the moon a little rub along the way. Because it just rubs the moon. Yeah. They make some choices in this movie. They make some choices. Yeah. There's an extended sequence of the ship landing on Earth and destroying everything in its path. Dr. Stripper Mom does some heroic crap and rescues a baby or something, and then dies in front of her son. It's very tragic, but she was like only in this movie for 37 seconds, so the impact's kind of limited.
Yeah.
Like, why even introduce and then kill her? It's a choice. They made some choices in this movie. The ship sits on the Earth like a little hat and just kind of waits for a bit. At Area 51, the alien prisoners wake up and celebrate that the big ship arrived, and the President Bill Pullman breaks into the prison because he desperately wants to be choked by one of the tentacle aliens.
I've seen those videos.
This one almost paid off. Everyone is worried about his safety, so they all fire at him and the alien with powerful energy weapons. The alien tells them about a queen or something and, makes some vague statements through Bill Pullman. Somehow Jeff Goldblum's dad survived the alien ship landing on him, so he's picked up by a family of kids traveling with no parents. Not the family of kids traveling with no parents in a motorhome from the first Independence Day movie. This is a different family of all kids with no parents traveling in a station wagon. So it's different.
That became apparent.
Jeff Goldblum and the president come up with a plan. Discount John Oliver wants the African warlord to teach him to kill, but he gets shot down. So the plan that Jeff Goldblum and the president come up with was basically to attack the 3,000-mile-long ship with a bunch of normal fighter jets. And it worked out about exactly as well as it did when they tried the exact same plan in the first movie. It didn't work. They alter the plan, and they fly the ships into the ship to detonate the bombs, but shockingly that doesn't work either. Bill Pullman makes another presidential speech. I've lost track of how many presidential speeches there have been in this movie, and there will be more. They activate the smaller circle, and the Queen on the alien ship senses it because they're hunting it, or something. The circle tells a long story about coming to save humans from the revenge of the angry aliens, but the humans shot them down before they could say anything about it. The circle also lets them know that no one has ever killed one of the big Queen aliens, but if they do, all of the drones will die and they win. Not sure how they know this if no one's ever killed an alien.
Right.
Assumptions, I guess. So they come up with another plan to lure the unkillable Queen to them. So, yeah.
Well, if you had an electronic device that was powering other devices, and you can sense that signal that's powering those signals, if you've never killed that electronic device, you know that you're taking the power away from those. You know that those will fall. So, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
You're describing like an electric circuit, though. These are all independently powered.
It's an example.
I guess.
We don't know they're independently powered. We're assuming.
We should assume because they're very far away from each other.
But it doesn't have to be power. It could be like, yeah, okay, I got nothing.
It's a choice they made. The Secretary of Defense has been promoted to president because the president and a bunch of other politicians died, and he was the next in line.
Huh. Is that the Rosling effect?
The Rosling.
Laura
Battlestar Galactica, Rosling effect. Yeah.
Laura Rosling.
It's actually the King Ralph effect.
Is that when you've had too much to drink?
Have you not seen King Ralph?
No.
John Goodman movie.
Oh.
The entire royal family dies in a photography accident, and some guy that likes bowling from Chicago gets taken over to England, and he's made King of England.
That
and
totally sounds like a movie I'd pick up on.
Hijinks ensue. It's definitely a movie. It's a movie. So anyways, the Secretary of Defense, I'm going to start over just because. The Secretary of Defense has been promoted to president because the president and a bunch of other politicians died, and he was next in line. So naturally, what do you think he does? He gives a presidential speech.
I was going to say that.
I bet you were. They come up with a new plan to fly a bunch of bombs into the Queen and blow her up, because that totally worked the last time they tried a few minutes ago, and they need a pilot to fly the bomb ship. So President Bill Pullman and his daughter, neither of whom are active pilots anymore, do the thing where two characters in a movie fight over who gets to heroically kill themselves for the plan. Because I love it. I love it when that happens. That's sarcasm. I hate that. Jeff Goldblum's dad acquires a busload of children and brings them to Area 51. So remember, everyone, if you ever have the opportunity to acquire a busload of children in an apocalypse situation, do it. They're like human shields. They come with a ton of plot armor because no one wants to see kids die. So if you surround yourself with a literal busload of children, you're guaranteed to survive the movie.
That's where Walking Dead went wrong.
Did they kill a bunch of children?
They killed one and got a lot of flack for it, from what I understand.
Spoilers.
From over a decade ago.
So I don't remember the scene, but my plot summary says, who gave Discount John Oliver a gun? That was a bad idea. He must have done a thing.
Yeah, he prematurely shot off.
I remember now. That's totally a thing he would do.
That's the thing that anybody would do in that particular situation in any movie.
They do it. It
was a choice.
There may be some cliches in this movie and tropes.
There's a few cliches.
I feel like there were cliches and tropes in this movie. Okay, so I forgot at this point of the movie.
Didn't he have a headband on at some point?
He might have. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, this is a movie. This is definitely a movie.
The last time I saw those Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Oh, right. At this point of the movie, I forgot that a bunch of pilots were stranded on the alien ship in a swamp. But there they are. They need to escape, so Space Hemsworth pees on their floor so that Will Smith stand-in can steal an alien ship and they all escape. Did you like that scene?
No.
Did you? Yeah. It's been over 5 minutes.
Weren't we just talking about cliches and tropes?
We were, and there's another one. So it's been over 5 minutes, so it's time for another presidential speech. This one is complete with huddled masses around the world listening on their radios, because a spaceship bigger than the moon blasting through the atmosphere had absolutely no effect on global communications.
You know, I've been trying to think of the name, and I can't pull it out of my
Pocket?
mind. But like half this movie must have been written by that guy who writes The West Wing and a few of these other shows.
Oh shoot, who was it? I feel like I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
I think his name might be David something.
Fincher? No, he's a director. Spade?
No.
Eddings.
It might not even be David. I'm old.
I don't know. Well, it's on the screen now. I'll just Google it later. The tree is where things appear. We don't know.
You're right. That's him.
Things appear in the tree.
You better put it there.
I've lost my spot in the script again. Oh, okay. So Jeff Goldblum's dad drives his bus full of human shields into the battle and then just kind of hangs out for a bit. They're just kind of there now. The plan works, and the President Pullman, flies the bomb right up to the Queen and wishes her a happy 4th of July. So wait a minute. Does this movie take place on the 4th of July too?
Yes.
Do the aliens know about American holidays? Did they plan this? Because the first one happened on the 4th of July. Is that a coincidence? Like, is that just a 1 in 365 shot that they just happened to show up on the 4th of July twice?
I wouldn't even say it's 1 in 365 because it's been a number of years as well. We're going to count all those freaking days.
Yeah, but the 4th of July can happen each year. So even if it's
once you add up all the years, it's going to add more days.
But you know about fractions, right? So like if you have 10 years of 365 days, you've got 3,650 days and 10 4th of July. So you have a 10 in 3,650, a 10 in 3,650 chance of them showing up on the 4th of July. Leap years, there's leap years. It's complicated
I'm
math.
90% certain
decimals.
that you're 33% wrong, which gives me a 42% chance that my statement was accurate at least 50% of the time.
37. Anyway, the bomb didn't work, and everyone seems pretty shocked that the queen of the alien race that has shields on literally everything has a shield and survived the bomb. And now there's a 100-foot tall alien chasing a bus full of children across the desert while people shoot at it. So that's fun. But the bus is safe because there's children in it.
Not gonna lie though, that was a pretty awesome scene.
It was a cool scene. I'm not saying the scenes aren't cool. I'm saying they're ridiculous. So President Pullman's daughter disables the Queen's shield by shooting at it with her gun, because that's how shields work, and then she crash lands. The Queen comes at her, but she hides behind a small box, so she is fine.
Well, that's how shields worked in Star Trek Discovery.
You just shoot at them. If you want the shield to go away, you do the thing that shields are supposed to protect you from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like literally, so this is season 1. The Michelle Yeoh, Michelle Yeoh playing the Empress in the alternate universe. Spoiler alerts if you haven't watched this very old show now. But she had a shield up, a personal shield in front of her, and they kept shooting her, and you can see on the thing like the energy was going down.
They could have saved some time and just very slowly stabbed her.
Well,
Dune reference.
To kill her.
Dune reference. Yeah,
I missed.
Solid movie. Got good reviews. We're probably not going to do it on the show.
Well, what about the first movie?
I liked that movie, but it was bad, so we should. But that's not the point. We're doing a plot synopsis of Independence Day. Oh, man.
But yeah,
we're going straight from Dune to Independence Day Resurgence. That's sad. That's a sad moment.
So I can buy that a shield will take a beating and lose its power as it goes.
Yeah, but this was almost immediately, and it can survive like massive explosions. I don't know.
Okay, well maybe
I'm looking for logical instances.
Could have taken a lot of. Okay, do your.
I'm looking for logical non-consistencies.
Let's cut all this out. We'll do the discussion part later.
Okay. Impossibly, The only emotionally resonant moment in the movie, Brent Spiner's boyfriend dies. And then Brent Spiner goes absolutely wild with a gun on a bunch of aliens. I liked it. I liked seeing Data just lose it. Space Hemsworth gets trapped in an alien ship tornado and uses his fusion drive to escape and fly up in the air so he can shoot the Queen in the back, because that's the weak spot, as we learned from the African warlord earlier when he was explaining it to Discount John Oliver. Yes. The Queen dies, the Circle is saved, everyone kisses the closest person to them, and the movie is over. But not before Brent Spiner declares that the Circle has asked humans to lead the resistance and take the fight to the aliens, begging the question, will there be a sequel? Which in turn begs the question, did anyone ask for this sequel? The end. That's the movie. That's the face I made when the movie ended. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the movie. Before we go into discussions, let's do what we said we would do every episode, but didn't do the first one.
That's what we do best.
We're gonna we're not consistent. We're gonna read some reviews.
We are consistent in our inconsistency.
We are consistently inconsistent.
I think that's what you just said the first time too.
Yeah, I know, I just repeated myself. So
you what?
we're gonna read some reviews. I'm gonna start, because this one I had to actually like cull the list a little bit because there were so many negative reviews. There were a bunch of zeros. People gave this movie a 0.
One thing I think we need for our set, we should buy a couple of those cup warmers.
Sure. Like a microwave?
No, like you put the cup on it and it keeps it hot.
Oh, like a yeah.
Like a cup warmer.
Like a hot plate.
Yeah.
Okay. So, first review. Brian Truitt of USA Today said, ridiculousness needs to abound somewhat in a film like this. Reality takes a seat early and often here, but Resurgence pushes everything into an egregiously over-the-top and often infuriating degree. But that's one of the better reviews. That one I kind of agree a little bit. Yeah. I kind of agree.
Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that if you're going to write a review for a movie for a normal person, stop using the thesaurus. Just write in words we know.
Movie reviews are ridiculous. So
you know what? They paid money for their education. They might as well show all the words they learned in college.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to read and which ones I'll let you read. Okay, so I'll read the next one. Independence Day. Oh no, sorry. Roger Moore, James Bond himself, from Movie Nation, said, Independence Day Resurgence is all big effects, big explosions, epic battles, rendered in state-of-the-art strokes. And this is a bad review. That sounds good. That's a good start. But, really bad writing, achingly bad acting, groaning scenes, and a serious lack of suspense and surprise all add up to 0 fun this time around. 0 fun?
No, there was a little.
Was there 0 fun? There was more than 0 fun. Why don't you read a couple?
Oh. RogerEbert.com. But it's actually done by Christy Lemire. Lemire.
I feel like Roger Ebert had already passed away at this point, so probably just his website, but not him.
It's just dull and hollow. That's not Roger Ebert, that's just the beginning line. A massive waste of time and money. Well, most movies are, even the good ones. I guess I should just read it. The characters are flimsy, the dialogue is stilted, and the amount of destruction is ridiculous. Ridiculoso. Okay, first of all, the amount of destruction should never be ridiculous in a movie about destruction.
It's supposed to be ridiculous. That's the point. Do you remember the first Independence Day movie? Half of the runtime was them slow motion destroying every city in the world, which apparently got rebuilt because they got destroyed again in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was about a when people get together, choreographed attack.
Choreographed. That just made me think.
It's a coordinated attack on the Earth.
I want to go back and I want to watch both destruction, like montages because they destroyed some of the buildings twice. Did they rebuild exact replicas of all of the buildings?
I don't know.
Because the White House absolutely got destroyed both times, and it's the same White House. And I'm pretty sure there's some other places. I feel like this movie is implying that they rebuilt the entire world brick by brick, building by building, as an exact replica as before.
Entire world in 10 years.
Yeah, in only 10 years. I don't believe that. 20 years. It was 20 years.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Entire world in 20 years.
Slightly more believable, but I still don't believe it.
Matt Singer at Screen Crush. Independence Day Resurgence is a bad movie. See, Thesaurus. We got it.
I'm sorry I laughed at that. I was, for some reason, was not expecting such a simple review. Everyone's like, it's egregiously blah, blah, blah. This guy is a bad movie.
Occasionally in ways that are a good chuckle. Like it's a laugh, see? No Thesaurus. Like when people earnestly deliver lines like, now, listen up, they're going for our molten core. But
Solid
mostly just
zone.
bad in ways that make you wish you hadn't wasted your money or your time. See, that one's, I knew what he said. Thank you, Matt Singer. I give you a thumbs up on your review.
Are you thinking of Bryan Singer?
No.
When you said Dave that wrote The West Wing and stuff, I think you're thinking of Bryan Singer.
Oh, possibly.
Matt Singer's name reminded me. I'm going to bet. I'm betting that that's the name I made show up. I didn't look it up. You guys saw. I've been sitting here the whole time. Okay, so next review. Lou Lumenick. Oh, he showed up in the last one we did. Lou Lumenick of the New York Post. I think he hates movies because this is another negative review. The first Independence Day was a lot of fun with great lines and cutting-edge special effects. Welcome to Earth. It was much imitated, so the sequel plays like a faded 8th generation copy with a cast that's shooting blanks when it comes to humor. I didn't realize it was supposed to be funny. Was it supposed to be funny?
Some points, yeah. I mean,
Like intentionally funny? Oh yeah, I guess the Discount John Oliver character, he was supposed to be like the comic relief, right? I see it. I can see it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian said, joyless and tedious. A reboot quite without the first film's audacity and fun. It's a movie that is going through the intergalactic motions. Do you want to read the long one? That's our first. This is our first zero. The long one coming up here. It's our first zero.
So, previous ones were not zeros. Now we're into the zeros. I didn't realize you can give 0 stars. The starless guy.
They're not stars. It's a percentage review. It's a percentage review system.
0% is even worse because stars you got your 1 out of 5. We were discussing this earlier.
Yeah.
Percentage you got hundreds
Could
of
we
options.
give on our rating system? I'm not going to make it show up. On our rating system, could we give a 0 star? Could we give 0 out of 5? Is that an option?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that was an option.
It's our rating system.
I'm saving that. I'm saving that for
Probably the next
for like
movie.
if we do like a rom-com at some point that's really bad. If we do that, what's that movie? What's the Jennifer Aniston, Ben Affleck, not Aniston. What's the other Jennifer? Jennifer Lopez. The Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck movie from back in the 90s.
I want to say Glow. Glitter.
Oh, Glitter? No.
Some kind of G movie. But no, I know.
Geely, because I remember everyone called it Giggly because it looks like Giggly. Geely. If we ever do that one, I'm probably going to give it 0 stars.
The only thing about G and Jennifer
never
that I want to
actually
get
seen it.
together is her spot. But
I completely missed what you just said because I was sipping my coffee.
the only thing about G and Jennifer I want to get together
Oh,
is her
yeah. The review. We're going to read the review.
Silent Magazine. Oh, Slant Magazine.
Who wrote it, though? What's the name of the person?
Chuck Bowen.
Chuck Bowen hated this movie.
Emmerich rewards our patience with an impersonally massive set piece involving the usual generic stew of mass CGI imagined demolition. The insensitivity displayed towards human life in these sequences would be galling even in Emmerich's standards. If this pitiful albatross of corporate capitalism could work up enough energy to be offensive, I read that like there's more words, but there's not.
See, I don't know. I'm sure this guy's super proud of his review.
This guy used his thesaurus.
He did. That's what I'm thinking. It's like they write these and they're like, can we make this difficult to read out loud? I think that's what they think about. Okay, so we have 2 more reviews, and they're both quite short, and I just realized I can't pronounce this guy's last name.
There's zeros. Let me see.
Chris Nashawati of Entertainment Weekly says, disposable and shockingly inept. That's the whole thing.
Yes. We're done hearing about
Shockingly
you,
inept.
but what about the review of the movie?
I don't know him.
I wonder if he works for Entertainment Weekly still. He might be disposable and shockingly inept.
Maybe he got fired. I don't know. So, and the last review we've got here.
They looked at this. This is your review of the movie. This is like, okay, you seem pretty, yeah. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Somebody please tell me what Mr.
Because that's not a review. The thing with these reviews is I wonder if these are just like quotes from the review. There's probably more to it. He probably wrote like an entire paragraph instead of just a sentence.
Ooh,
but I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's not a big writer. So the final review, we've got Barry Hertz from the Globe and Mail Toronto. Canadian review.
That's just down the road.
Barry, ways down the road, but yeah. Barry says, one of the most aggressively stupid blockbusters ever made. A painful exercise in Hollywood greed and artistic incompetence on every level. Every single level.
I don't disagree. 100%.
There was nothing redeemable about this movie, according to Barry Hertz. It was awful.
Somebody hurts him in this past.
Who hurts you, Barry? So, before we get into what we think about the movie and discuss it, do you ever think about whether or not watching bad movies and trying to review them in like a positive light will just make us hate movies?
No.
Do you think that's what happened to these reviewers? Do you think they just watched too many movies?
They're off their meds, that's all.
Probably.
But no, actually, it's causing me to actually appreciate some of the things a little more.
Well, yeah, because I've been watching these with the whole like...
Yeah, I mean, if you were to juice me for creative juices before I started any of this, and not just this, but even the podcast and everything, you would be thirsty by the end. But now you might actually get a drop or two. I'm going to get a little more creative.
So you feel you're getting juicier as we go. Okay.
That's juicier.
That's a statement. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like... I don't know, I just wanted to put that out there.
It can boost our appreciation.
I think it's boosted my appreciation. I'm starting to enjoy bad movies. I used to hate bad movies because I'd pick them apart, kind of like I do in my plot synopsises. But that's not serious. I'm just kidding around.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to enjoy the process. But I think I'm starting to appreciate bad movies more. Because even a bad movie, it's still entertainment. It's still usually an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
With some exceptions. I'm sure there's movies I still hate.
I mean, this one, for instance, it's not an Oscar-winning attempt at any degree, and they're not entirely wrong on those reviews. But I mean, the sheer destruction and lack of empathy for humans. So why do we need empathy? We're the worst people in the world.
This movie's not about empathy for humans, although it does show some empathy for Brent Spiner's boyfriend when he dies.
Well,
they take a moment and let him mourn him.
I mean, when that ship is coming down onto the planet and it's starting to lift people up because it has its own gravity.
Yeah,
I mean, you're seeing human beings go up. The fact that there are movies out there that will just show the cars and the buildings, there's no human beings, that's unrealistic. So they're just...
Did they show like actual like people being sucked up?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't really notice. I was just like, hey, it's mass destruction, and I didn't care.
See, that's how desensitized we are to it.
Well, but it's not real though. Every big like disaster blockbuster has mass human death. Like that's a thing. That's a plot device in movies.
Yeah.
Like the first Independence Day did that. Literally every disaster movie does that. Have you seen 2012 with John Cusack? Everybody dies.
I haven't. There was a lot of end of the world movies that came out around the same time.
It was like a thing for a while leading up to when the world was supposed to end in 2012.
I have not seen 2012.
Day After Tomorrow. Did you see Day After Tomorrow?
That's the one I was thinking of when you said this is where they were walking along the ice to get to the library.
I liked that movie. I really liked I forgot what it was called. I really liked Day After Tomorrow. I kind of liked 2012 too. Like it was okay. Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones.
And Ellen's wife.
And Heesh, Anne Heche. She was in that?
Yeah. She was the main female actor.
Wait, was she her wife or was she her girlfriend? I feel like they weren't married.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. It was Hollywood. It didn't last.
Yeah, yeah.
And neither did Ellen's niceness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and neither did Anne Heche because she died the other year. But
Okay,
I
so-
thought you were going to say that. I really thought you were going way cold with that one.
One of my favorite scenes during that Ellen and Anne Heche thing was they had Anne Heche in the back somewhere talking on the phone, going, "Yes, tell them I'll be home soon. It's all just a big publicity stunt," or something to that degree.
Oh, that's
That was
harsh.
the best. No, well, that was them doing it.
I know, but it's funny.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's how things work in Hollywood. I don't know. What are some other ones? What are some other ones I liked? There's Volcano. Oh, Dante's Peak. Do you remember Dante's Peak?
That one had James Bond in it.
It did. Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, but I've seen it. Who's the girl? Renee Russo? No, Pierce Brosnan and Renee Russo. That was
that other movie.
Who's the girl in
I
that
don't
one?
remember. Oh, I do. Oh, because I've seen that movie like 4 times.
I almost feel like it might be the girl from the Jurassic Park movies. Because right now I'm picturing the new girl from the
Which-
Jurassic Park movies, but that's just because of
Julianne Moore?
Julianne Moore.
Because she was in a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't.
Was it her?
I'm thinking redhead, so Julianne Moore. But when I'm thinking redhead, I get.
We might be so wrong.
I don't think we are.
Do you think it was her?
Yeah.
I'll look it up and I'll put the name here.
Yeah.
It's in the plant.
It was that person.
It was definitely that name. This has got nothing to do with the movie. So what did you like this movie though?
Yeah. It was okay.
It's okay. See, there's a review. No, not Al. What did you say your name was? Alistair.
So you weren't wrong.
There's your review. Alistair Sims. You said Alistair Sims, right?
Yeah.
Alistair Sims of NotACritic says, oh shoot, I remember what you said now.
Please don't sue me for saying Alistair Sim, by the way. I'm pretty sure that's not his real name either.
You
But
can't sue people for using an obvious fake name for laughs. Can you?
Michael Keaton, Michael Douglas, I don't know.
Are they going to sue you?
No.
Maybe that can be your name next week.
Michael Keaton Douglas.
Michael Douglas Keaton.
No, Michael Keaton Douglas.
Michael Keaton Douglas. So I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hate this movie. I struggled a little bit because I watched it like a month ago, 2 months ago. And I was like, you know what? This wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. Like, it was fun. It was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. But then I watched it again 2 weeks ago when we were going to do this episode and then got lazy and couldn't coordinate our schedules. I watched it again then. And then I watched it again last night when I was trying to go through my plot synopsis and get all that done. So I've watched it 3 times in the last 2 months now. And I don't think I could sit through it again.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot. But to watch it once, it's good to watch once. It's not a big rewatch movie.
I like the tie-in it had to the Star Trek universe.
Oh?
Yeah.
Other than Brent Spiner? Or just Brent Spiner?
Oh, no, I wasn't even thinking Brent Spiner there. But so at the beginning, when the signal goes out and you get to pass a whole bunch of space,
Yeah.
they literally passed by the blued up Praxis.
Did they?
It looked like Praxis.
I wonder if that was a nod. I didn't notice.
That was a nod.
That was a nod. That was a head tilt. I don't know if it was a nod. You've got notes. What are some of your points?
Well, Praxis.
No, that was one of your points. I was wondering why you had that written there. I was like, what does that mean?
There's also con on there, but I don't remember why I wrote that down, so we'll go back to that never.
Yeah.
Okay. The tropes. Jake.
Jake. So was that actually his name?
Yes. I'm going to guess so because I wrote Jake.
Okay.
Okay.
Space Hemsworth. His name was Jake.
Space Hemsworth.
Okay.
So, really, he's a maverick. He's a problem person. Like, every movie's got a problem person who turns out to
They
be...
have to. Yeah, they have to. It's a trope. It's a trope.
And like you said, that thing was falling over, and he used the things that they installed on this machine as they're probably meant to be used.
Chekhov's fusion drive. I'm going to pull out the Chekhov's thing every movie, I think.
Yeah. And he's in trouble for it?
Well, yeah, that's what I didn't get. Like, did he knock it over to begin with?
No, his brother, and which I don't think was his blood brother. I think they just grew up together.
I think it was his friend.
but well, they met when they were kids somehow. I don't remember, but
Yeah, I
he
mean,
was
technically brothers meet when
distracted.
they're kids, but I think they were just friends.
Yeah, he was distracted by his hormones, I imagine, because he's kind of the hormonal character in a
Another
very subtle
trope.
kind of way. Something distracted him, and then his side gave out. But then in space,
No
where
one can hear you scream. Oh, that's a different movie, sorry.
he flew his device,
His tug.
his crane.
His
yeah, it's a
tug.
tug. They're
It's a
supposed to
tug.
carry heavy things.
Yeah.
But he flew it at it. And if he wasn't going to move it, I'm pretty sure he had time to get out from under it. But everybody's freaking out like it's the end of the world. They had no idea that was coming.
It was coming, but he didn't cause it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Like, why? Yeah, good point. Why was he in trouble for saving all of them? That's, yeah. Movies are weird like that
And a
sometimes.
it's got to be multi-trillion-dollar device.
Oh, at least.
That is supposed to
That thing was
protect
huge.
the Earth.
How did they get that up there? Did they build it on the moon? Did they launch it into space? Did they launch it up bit by bit and assemble it? Is it like
would
Lego?
not launch that into space unless
They would have had
actually,
to
I don't-
Lego that thing, like bit by bit, launch it up and assemble it in space.
I guess it depends on what technology they did manage to call, because something
Fusion
like
drives.
that,
They have fusion drives.
because something like that you wouldn't want to launch into space. The fuel required would just be insane. Just build it in space.
Exactly. That's my thoughts. So, what other? Let's go through the trope characters, because we've got Jake, the troublemaker with the heart of gold, who saves the day at some point. Maybe not in the end. Oh, he did save the day in the end too, because he shot the queen in the back.
Yeah.
We've got the comic relief. And did you write down other people's names? Because I don't know anyone's name from this
Well,
movie.
William Fichtner, like him,
Is that an actor or a character name?
he eventually became president.
The Secretary of Defense.
Was that his role?
Maybe.
The army guy, whatever.
I feel like he was either a general or the secretary. I
The
think
one
he
that
was the
became
Secretary of
president.
Defense.
I love that guy. And everything
He's good.
in.
He's been in lots of things. Is that his name, William Fichtner? I didn't know his name.
Oh, yeah.
What was his name in the movie? Yeah, you don't know, do you? No. So he was the like hard-nosed military guy. So you got him.
Yeah.
You got Discount John Oliver as the comic relief.
You got the guy that hates his dad because of what he accomplished.
Yeah. I don't know his name either. Just call him Will Smith stand-in, because I don't remember his name.
You got
What was Will Smith's name in the first movie?
I don't know. We didn't watch the first movie. It was Harry. Oh, no, wait. Harry was Harry Connick Jr. Well, that's nothing. Jake is Harry Connick Jr.'s son.
Oh. Wait, is he?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Not in real life.
No, but I mean in the movie. Is that supposed to be a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
That is so like literally everybody in this movie is just from the first movie.
Because they had what they called the Legacy Squadron.
Yeah.
Which, sorry, because you're the son of somebody that flew really well, you fly
Okay,
really well.
I didn't catch that. Is that what that was?
Yes.
So they were all like children of people that saved the day in the first movie? Was one of Randy Quaid's, Dennis Quaid's, which Quaid was it?
It was Randy.
Randy. Was one of Randy Quaid's kids in that?
I didn't pick up on that. And I'm guessing the Chinese character, I don't know if there was a Chinese character involved. I don't remember if there was a Chinese character involved in the first movie. But again,
I don't remember.
the main Chinese, and sorry if it's not Chinese, guys, don't roast
They're
me.
Chinese.
So
Didn't the flag give it away? Line from the movie.
Good one.
Yeah.
So the main Chinese guy is the father of that girl. And I think he was one of the ones that helped save the Earth as well. But I don't know if he was in the first movie or
maybe.
because it was a worldwide effort.
It was a worldwide. I should have gone back and checked.
But the Legacy Squadron they're the children of all of the heroes of the First War. Some of the heroes we know,
That's
some
so
we probably
weird.
don't.
And but
And
Jeff
everybody
Goldblum didn't have any
idolizes them.
kids. They make that point.
Everybody
that point.
Everybody idolizes them like they're the
They
Alpha
did nothing.
Squadron? What was the squadron that Wesley tried to get into in Starfleet Academy? They idolize them like they're that squadron.
Oh, I don't remember, but I know what you mean.
The Tom Paris squadron.
Shouldn't idolize them. They cheated or something. Did something illegal. People died.
Person
People
died.
died in the first movie of Independence Day as well. But yeah, so more trope characters. Jeff Goldblum played himself in this movie,
Yes.
and
His son was not there.
he didn't have a son. His dad kept giving him a hard time about not having kids.
Yeah. And then
I'm pretty sure during the final battle, he drove a busload of children into the desert during a war just so he could give Jeff Goldblum heck for not having children.
And who does he start hanging out with? that one doctor who's hanging out with the warlord who's pretty much slept around with almost everybody.
Charlotte Gainsborough.
Yeah.
I don't know her name in the movie.
Yeah. She.
The psychiatrist or something. Why is there a psychiatrist?
The girl from Nymphomaniac 1 and 2.
Is she from that?
Yeah. Did they make a sequel? No, they just made a really long movie.
Was that all one movie?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not that I've watched it. I've never watched Nymphomaniac, just scenes from kids getting.
We'll just cut that out. We'll be laughing awkwardly at Al. No, Alistair.
The president?
President Pullman?
No. The girl president?
Girl president? I don't know her name either.
That's Dr. House's wife.
From House?
Yeah.
Was she in the first movie?
No.
I was trying to figure that out because I was like, is even the president from the first movie?
No.
So we have, because having female presidents, not that there's anything wrong with that, having female presidents was like a thing in the early 2010s. A lot of these movies had female presidents because they were like,
they wanted to be different.
yeah, they wanted to not have the standard Bill Pullman as the president. They wanted to have a female president because that's new and edgy, because it hasn't happened yet. As of the time of recording, it could happen a few months from now. We don't know. But as of right now, there's been no female presidents, but movies try and do that a lot. There's a lot of female presidents in disaster movies now.
There is one guy I wish.
That's a trope, is what I was trying to get at. That's a movie trope.
Oh, we're doing tropes.
We're still doing tropes for some reason.
Was that Brent Spiner's boyfriend? Is that canon, or is it just they're hanging out too much? I don't remember if there was an actual.
They refer to each other as boyfriends multiple times throughout the movie. Like lots and lots of times.
I'm
actually
highly observant. Apparently.
for a movie that spends no time on trying to make you care about the characters in any way. They spent a lot of time on Brent Spiner and his boyfriend, which I appreciate because I like Brent Spiner.
And they made him as goofy as they can make him.
They did.
Without actually, they made him goofy.
Brent Spiner, you mean?
Yeah, without him losing his air of intelligence, I think. Like they did it.
Oh no, he just seemed like he had a mad scientist vibe to him.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in a point like, okay, no, they handled that really well, actually. I think his character was good.
He was a bit like that in the first movie too, though. Because he was like the kooky scientist that hangs out with dead aliens all day.
Oh, but he clearly had more to do in this movie.
Yeah,
and then they did it without going way over the top on his character.
Yeah, I mean they went. There were a couple jokes that were on the scale of the movie. Yeah, there were a couple jokes that were kind of like I groaned a little, like when he was not wearing pants.
Okay, see,
I was like,
this is what's in my mind. So when they did that, I felt like, yes, it's a trope. It's been done before, but it actually felt really smooth. Like it went along really well, and it didn't come out as overly ridiculous to me.
You know what? It did suit what their relationship seemed to be. Because when this isn't a funny moment, this was a tragic moment. When the boyfriend was dying, that was one of his last words. Who's going to remind you to put on your pants?
I didn't write it down, but that stuck out. Yeah.
That was sad. Why did he die? I watched the movie 3 times in the last 2 months. I can't remember how he died. What did he do? Did he why? I don't remember how he died. An alien killed him. I know that.
That's how he died. An alien killed
Okay.
him.
Was he trying to do something? Was he being heroic?
Okay, you watched this movie last night. I didn't.
I know. But that's near the end. And I was doing the thing. So when you're watching the movie, this little bar comes up on the bottom and there's like a play button. And then there's a little, like a circular arrow that goes forward 10 seconds and a circular arrow that goes back 10 seconds. I didn't touch the back arrow. After every 5 or 6 seconds of watching, I hit the forward 10-second button. And I just kept hitting the forward 10-second button because I wanted to finish, because I was tired, because I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning. And I just wanted to get it done so I could finish writing my review. I missed some steps. I missed some important moments.
I wish that I had known you were going to talk about that forward 10 seconds button, because then we could have just changed position quickly and then said, oh, so that's how he died, as if we had just skipped forward 10 seconds.
That would have been a great joke. We're very funny in hindsight.
Yes. Well, there's another butt joke, hindsight.
because we could see his butt through his mesh underwear. So what else? What else you got on your list? Does that say Ryan Cartwright?
Yes.
Who's Ryan Cartwright?
Okay, so the British-sounding guy, not the rip-off guy. What's his name?
Discount John Oliver?
Not Discount John Oliver, but in the car approaching.
The guy from Bones?
Yes.
Okay.
Wish they'd given him more screen time.
I do kind of like him. Is that the actor's name?
Yes, Ryan Cartwright.
Because again, we don't know any of the characters' names from this movie.
Yeah, he was in a show called Alphas, which they filmed in Hamilton, Ontario.
Nice.
And he
Didn't see it.
He was in Bones.
He was in Bones.
His
I feel
death-
like I've seen him in other things.
His death in Bones, he's the guy that got taken out by the sniper.
He
Spoilers.
died in Bones?
That was because
Spoilers.
they were trying to take out the
The
vampire
barrier guy? Vampire guy. There was a vampire in Bones?
Well, the answer to that might have been a yes, but no, there isn't. There was the Headless Horseman was in Bones, or at least who's the guy that fought the Headless Horseman? Anyway, regardless,
I want to say Ichabod Crane, but
Ichabod
was
Crane.
that the Headless Horseman?
Ichabod Crane was in Bones.
Really?
They did a crossover between those two shows.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow and Bones did a crossover. Can you imagine those two shows doing a
Isn't
crossover?
Sleepy Hollow like a fantasy show not set in reality? How do you cross over Bones and Sleepy Hollow?
You should watch it. It's kind of funny.
I feel like I didn't get that far into Bones. I feel like I only watched the first 18 of 700 seasons or whatever they do for TV these days. They make too many seasons of TV.
So some guy was tracking the agent.
We're still talking about Bones?
Yes.
Okay.
The vampire guy. Forget what his name is.
Vampire guy's fine.
David Borealis. Some guy was
David Boreanaz?
Boreanis.
Angel?
Angel. Angel was
Didn't
a
David
vampire.
Boreanaz play Angel? Did he? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Well, Angel.
In Buffy,
Yeah,
David Boreanaz played him, right?
yeah.
Okay.
But he was the agent in Bones, and he had a tracker, but he gave something to Ryan Cartwright's character, and some guy was using that tracker and shot him sniper shot from far away.
Okay, so I need to clarify. When you say there's a vampire in Bones, you don't mean an actual vampire. You mean there was a character played by someone who also played a vampire. Okay, that makes more sense. You should have led with that, because I had no idea what you're talking about. I was like, there's no vampires in
I never
Bones.
lead with that, and I do those references all the time.
But you could have said David Boreanaz. I would have remembered who that was.
And I've seen Ryan Cartwright in a few other things.
He's been in things. He's an actor.
Yeah.
He's in TV shows and movies.
And I was so hoping he'd have a bigger role in this movie.
That's not the way this movie works.
No.
You're not here to care about the characters. You're here to watch things blow up.
Yeah, those are some of the things I picked out about the actors. The trope. Oh, the tropes. Seriously, they have all these big laser guns and everything, but the guy with the swords is the one that can kill the
That was funny. Well, because you got to get them in the back. He said that. I'm telling you, it's like Dune. You can't shoot people with lasers. You have to stab them.
Okay, and what's the scene? The aliens are shooting everybody up.
Yeah.
And they're shooting at the aliens and they can't get it. And he goes, no, you got to do it like this, walk this. And he starts running right at them. They're like, maybe they were in shock. We got guns and he's just running
Who's
at
this
us.
guy with swords?
And he looked like a pretty thick guy, right?
Or maybe they were thinking, oh no, our one weakness, a foot-long blade.
That they have to get behind us for. Okay, so he was a pretty...
Blade.
He was
That'd be a good movie to do.
He was a pretty thick guy, right?
He was
did
built
He did a baseball slide to get in behind them?
like the end of Warcraft movie. Remember he slid between his legs and hit him in the back?
And then he comes up and goes, "Ah, don't turn around.
Yeah,
Stab."
what was he going to do if he turned around? Would he go back and run again and slide again?
And apparently that doesn't kill the aliens. It just breaks their exoskeleton because they pop out and then all of a sudden they're popping out and they're
Yeah,
getting
but then
sick.
they're just flappy squid monsters. I mean, they're not strong at that point. But back to the lasers, because you brought up the lasers. So explain to me, you probably can't because I don't think there is one, but explain to me the train of thought that the human people in this movie who have had 20 years since the events of the first movie, right? Explain to me the thought process where they thought, okay, we got attacked by these aliens. All we have to do is use the exact weapons they left on our planet, and we should be able to easily destroy any alien ships that approach Earth. Why did they think that would work? They know the aliens have shields. I'm pretty sure even in the first movie, when they're having that like crazy dogfight where everyone's going everywhere outside the alien shields, any alien shots that missed just absorbed into the shields. They know that the alien shields work. Why did they think, okay, we'll sit some of these alien guns in orbit and we'll just fire them at a ship if it comes? Like that defense lasted 8 seconds. Because the ship approached, they were like, okay, everybody fire. Oh, right, they have shields. We need to account for that. Like, what did they think was going to happen?
When they had the ships.
Yeah.
So after the first movie, when everything's down and all this technology's there, they got the most intelligent people to go on the ships.
Yeah.
And they started looking, and they said everything. And they said, "Ooh, shiny."
Yeah. Okay, that's basically it.
Yeah, it's a gun. We can shoot it. It'll work. Personally, I think they should have just stuck with bullets. Did the little Battlestar Galactica thing.
I feel like they were overconfident.
Energy, like yeah.
They were overconfident.
They were overconfident. And bigger is better. They built that big pulse cannon.
Like the big one on the moon that they fired once at the wrong alien species. That was a questionable decision.
That was a questionable decision.
I didn't buy world leaders doing that. Like really, like. An alien ship has appeared. It looks nothing like the aliens we fought before.
It's them!
Let's shoot it. Like, why? Why did they shoot it? Like, at least like wait for it to say something. Because when the aliens showed up the first time, right? They didn't fire right away. Yeah. They waited like most of the day before they coordinated because they don't want to just fire one shot at a time. They wanted to fire all their shots at once. So, like, these aliens have a track record of not immediately firing. So, like, give it a second. I mean, you've discovered that aliens exist. Is it beyond the realm of comprehension that maybe there's 2 types of aliens? And maybe this type of aliens that look completely different than the other type of aliens? Like, these are sphere circles. You fought against flat circles. You fire at the flat circles, not the thick circles. It's all about the circles.
They thought it was the Borg.
Maybe.
How do they know about the Borg? What, Brent Spiner?
They probably just watched Star Trek.
Brent Spiner.
Oh, right, he was there. But yeah, that was a poor decision.
That was a very bad decision, especially when they had somebody like, okay, yes, Jeff Goldblum. I know he likes to spout about chaos theory to show chaos.
There was a show called Chaos starring Jeff Goldblum.
I think there's a new show on Netflix called Chaos.
Is it called Chaos?
I think so.
Oh, with a K.
With a K.
Where he plays his character from the Marvel.
I haven't watched it.
I've seen the trailer, and he plays what's the guy? What's the guy that he plays in that really bad Thor movie?
I don't know.
Where he plays an exaggerated version of Jeff Goldblum.
He is the brother of the Collector.
The guy in the Marvel movie or the guy in Chaos?
Marvel.
Okay.
So the Collector is the guy that was on the planet in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And his brother is the guy that was running this
The Master. Zone. Is it the Master?
No, the
Master. The Architect. No, that's from the Matrix.
No, the Master, I think, is a guy from the Hulk universe.
But anyways, I was like, okay, it's basically the same character. Why are we? How did we get there? Because they're supposed to believe. Because Jeff Goldblum was like, "Don't fire."
He was giving some actual sound advice. Goes,
yeah.
It's the circle that we've all been seeing.
Maybe don't destroy it until we find out what it is. But
now, that being said, if everybody's discovered that they have psychic links to these aliens, then maybe these circles are bad things. But these aliens have. And he said, no, it's more like a fear. They know that
Sphere.
They know that this circle represents fear to the aliens.
Fear. Okay. Oh, they know that at this point? Had they already decided that?
Well,
deciphered that?
The primitive guy with the swords said that.
Oh, right, because they figured out he wasn't primitive. He just chose to use swords.
Sorry.
That's terrible.
You weren't going to say terrible, but good choice.
Yeah, but basically, at least once per movie, you got to listen to Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Because if they had listened to him during the first movie, yeah, I feel like things still would have gone the same way, but they would have known about it a little earlier.
I just thought there's a way they could have avoided all this. So they said
putting a bus full of children in between the enemy ship and Earth?
No, they asked the primitive guy. Goes, when did it turn on? He says, when you blew up the ship. Okay, 20 years ago? Could have told us about this.
No. Did
Yes.
he say that?
Yes.
No, because it had just turned on.
No, the signal took that long to get out to them.
The signal was going the whole time? I missed
Yeah.
that. Why didn't they say anything?
Why did this? Because
They could have called Jeff Goldblum 20 years ago.
Yeah, well-
and he would have been like, there's a signal.
well, we're not dealing with the outside world. Well, you had Charlotte Gainsborough there for a while too. She could have said something. It's like they might be calling somebody.
Yeah, I thought it like just, really? It was going off the whole time. I thought it like just went off and they have no concept of how long it takes to get places.
I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Well, yeah, because you know what? Because the movie opens with the alien queen hate watching the president's speech, right? So she must have maybe she just got it. My assumption was she's been watching this on loop for 20 years, just getting madder and madder. But maybe she just got it, and that's what prompted her to, man, their ships must be fast. How'd they get there that fast?
See, this is why I think I'm right, because I remember hearing, so it might have taken 20 years for the signal to get to them, and then she shows up like the next week.
Like the next day. It was like the next day.
Yeah, regardless, she just shows up like it was nothing.
Because, okay, so here's what, I'm reevaluating what I thought happened then. So here's what happened then. So they send this signal 20 years ago, and the signal's been booping for 20 years. The Queen receives it because it takes 20 years for the signal to get that far, right? So the Queen receives the signal, and then she sends a signal back that wakes up the ship and all the aliens in the prison that she's coming. That's why everything starts to wake up.
Like in
So
Stargate Atlantis.
So it takes the signal 20 years to get to the Queen, and then the return signal is instantaneous.
I know I have con written down now.
So is that what we're saying? So it takes 20 years for the signal to reach the Queen, and then her return signal is instantaneous.
Yeah.
So that means she is 10 light years away.
Well, unless she has some kind of faster than something travel. So here's the thing. So
Well, no, but the signal, she sent the signal back. Signals like they're going up, yeah.
Well, no, when everybody woke up, they probably mentally, because they're all connected to the Queen, remember? Kill the Queen, you kill them all?
But it still takes time for information to travel over distance.
She may have had, okay. Yeah, I don't know. So,
So I'm making a really obscure physics reference that
because,
you have no idea what I'm talking about.
yeah.
You're not supposed to. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, it's like me talking about TV, you talk about physics. I know nothing about physics. You know nothing about the shows I watch on TV. Where was I? The Queen.
The Queen.
As soon as she hears Bill Pullman,
Bill Pullman, the science guy.
yeah, I threw Nye in there, talking, and Independence Day does his like little Independence Day 1 presidential speech.
Yeah. One of 23 presidential speeches in this movie.
She looks at it and she goes, "Ah!" So
Yeah.
that's where I go, con.
Okay. That's sure. Sure. Why
Well,
not?
because
That could be a reference that we
The signal
use.
had just passed Praxis,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking, con. Yeah, she has a little freak out. It's like, all right.
She did have a little mini tantrum. She got mad and flew her giant ship to the planet.
And you know the first thing I thought of when that ship landed?
What?
So there's the stallion that mounted the world.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones, right? Yeah. Game of Thrones.
Man, coast to coast landing bays.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. Okay, so I was trying to figure it out because I rewatched that. I rewatched the landing sequence multiple times because you see some things happen, right? I take a breath there. I'm talking too much. You see some things happen, right? So the ship, it gives the moon a little shoulder rub on the way back, on the way through, on the way past, and then it starts to enter the atmosphere and land. So I'm trying to figure out physically how this happened. So from the looks of things, it started in like Japan and like
That's
moved
where the people
across
would fly to.
Asia because you saw it might have been Hong Kong. I feel like it might have been Hong Kong, either Hong Kong or Japan. got hit, and they all start floating up towards the ship. And then it went over Malaysia, because you can see the Petronas Towers get sucked up, because it's a big landmark. They got to suck up the landmarks. You can see them get sucked up there in the Malaysia. So then they keep going across, and then you see Dubai, because there's the boat on stilts hotel in Dubai, which is a silly looking building, but they did that. It went up there, and then it dropped all this stuff on London, because you can see London Bridge there. And then the foot landed in Washington and just like tickled the White House a little bit. Didn't knock the flag down. You can't knock the flag down. But they just tickled a little bit and the flag bent. Destroyed the White House partially. And also kicked Jeff Goldblum's dad's boat a little bit. Just a little bit. Not fully, because he was fine.
Didn't hit his boat. It's because it was coming in and it was pushing up the earth. So it was like the wave of dirt and stuff.
That was water. That liquid stuff. That was water that it was pushing up.
Well, no, because I think there was ground in there as well. So I mean, it was deep enough. It was going through the water, but I think it was kicking up sand as well.
So and then it looked like this thing, because 3,000 miles. I looked it up, but I forget the number. Because how wide is the Atlantic Ocean off the top of your head? So did it just kind of straddle the Atlantic Ocean then?
Yeah.
And it just kind of sat there. So 3,000 miles diameter. So which one's diameter? Is diameter all the way across?
Yes.
That's diameter. Yeah, okay. Radius is the halfway. Okay, so it's 3,000 miles in each way, because it's a circle. So it's just sitting over the Atlantic Ocean like a little hat there, right? So that's no, that was the Atlantic.
I know.
Yeah, it was definitely the Atlantic. I think it would have just been like in the water if it was the Pacific, because the Pacific's bigger.
Yeah, I know. I was just throwing that out there.
And so it just kind of sat on there, like over the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so that kind of makes sense, because when I was watching it, I was like, okay, how is it landing? How is it landing in Hong Kong, Malaysia, London, and Washington all at the same time if it's only 3,000 miles across? But I think it like skimmed the planet and then landed is what I'm going with, because of momentum or something. So it skimmed the planet. So my thought, I was trying to figure out the physics of all that, and it doesn't even remotely check it out, but it's fine. So my thought is they think that they have saved Earth because they stopped this ship. But it's still sitting there. But it's still sitting there, right? Just straddling the Atlantic Ocean. Do you see a problem with that?
Is it though?
Isn't it?
I know the ship, especially the one over by the primitive people, were...
You gotta stop calling them primitive.
What am I going to call them? I forget where they're from. And
They're African.
I'm just thinking of the swords. It's not... Okay.
Did they say what country it was? I don't think they said what country it was.
They did. I just don't remember. Don't cancel me. And just...
They're African.
The sword fighting, the people who use
warlord, warlord and his folk.
The warlords people. Okay, so first of all, when I think warlord, when I think of people who use swords, when there's guns and lasers, okay, I'm sorry, the word primitive comes to my mind. That's all. But the warlords people.
He's old. Just give it to him. He's old.
Okay, like this is painting me in a very bad painting I don't want to be in.
Go with your thought.
At the end,
yes, the
ship left.
Did it?
Yeah. I think all the ships were recalled.
Okay. All right. You know what? So there's someone to recall the ship. So they're gonna come again.
Well, there's more than one queen.
Oh. Queens.
Said nobody, because remember, nobody has ever killed a queen.
Oh.
Oh, so if you're saying a queen, that means there must be multiple queens. And
or when one dies, a new one takes her place.
But, well, no, because it's like a hive of people. Although
there's only one Borg queen.
Borg queen.
Yeah.
But bees?
Bees?
Queen bees.
There's only one bee per hive, though. One queen per hive.
Right.
You can't have multiple queens. There is multiple hives, yeah.
Stargate Atlantis? Multiple hives.
Multiple episodes. There's hives?
Yeah.
I was going to say something. So the ship definitely left. Somehow I missed that in the 3 watchings of this movie.
The
my
ship
thought was
went near the Warlords people, left.
Oh, even the small one from 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's the one I saw leave, and I may have seen others and just forgotten, but I'm thinking all the ships were recalled.
Okay. Clearly, I stopped paying attention near the end of movies. Because I didn't remember the end of The Matrix either. So, okay, because my thought was, oh no, there's a ship sitting on the planet and blocking the entire ocean. Did you know that a large part of the oxygen we breathe comes from oceans? And if the ocean, the entire ocean, has no sunlight, we'd be screwed. But the ship left. So here's what I'm thinking.
Ocean.
How did the ship take off? How did the ship take off?
I don't think we were privy
Because
to that.
I feel like a ship that size trying to blast off from Earth's surface would absolutely destroy the surface of the Earth because equal and opposite reactions and all that.
Would that depend? Would that particular theory that you're talking about? Is that a theory or a law?
It's a thing that happens.
Would it depend on their drive if they had some kind of different kind of drive? Something that doesn't push off the Earth, but rather just lifts the machine up?
That's not a physically possible thing.
Okay. I thought you were going to say that.
So
it's kind of like what Homelander says. He can't just carry a plane down because there's nothing for him to support underneath.
Sure, I don't remember that, but yeah. Yeah, sure. Wasn't that just an excuse so he didn't have to save the people on the plane?
No, I don't think so, because he was up there with the boys' version of Wonder Woman.
I thought he was trying to kill her.
No, this is earlier.
Yeah, I don't remember.
She's like, can't you just fly the plane down? He goes, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I feel like that was just an excuse.
You might be able to take a person or two.
Superman does it.
And Superman is... Yeah, okay, so yeah, it would destroy the Earth.
I feel like it would, but I'm not a physicist.
I think it doesn't matter.
I also feel like this giant ship the size of the moon clipping the moon on the way past might knock it out of orbit as well, which could have problems.
And it having its own gravity?
Oh, that was my question. So it has its own gravity, which, okay, that makes sense, because it would. But why did it pick up all the stuff, and then when it stopped moving, drop all the stuff?
Would it lose its gravity if it stopped moving?
Why would it?
I don't know. Wouldn't we lose our gravity if we stopped spinning?
No.
I feel like we would.
Why?
I'm no expert, because I thought it depended on motion.
I mean, it does, but not like that.
We were doing science class.
The moon isn't spinning. It has gravity.
We're all in constant motion right now. The sun spins. Is the moon not spinning around the Earth?
The moon is orbiting the Earth. It doesn't spin.
There's
you ever
motion.
notice that the same face of the moon's always facing the Earth?
It's the man in the moon.
Yeah, the moon's not spinning. It
Okay,
still has
so
gravity.
yeah, no, I didn't think it was spinning, but it is in motion.
It is in motion, but you don't have to be...
And maybe we're spinning at a point where we're just not seeing the spin.
So everything's in motion, but in motion relative to what is the question?
Well, I'm not worried about that part of it.
Well, that's the entire part of it. Motion has to be relative to something.
No, but I'm trying to think of why the gravity would turn off, unless it was a...
Oh, it wouldn't is the answer. It wouldn't.
It wouldn't? Are you... See, I don't know enough to be able to...
Well, something that big can't have gravity and then just suddenly not have gravity anymore because it landed.
Tell that to the Klingons.
What did the Klingons do?
Well, when somebody destroyed their gravity and they lost their counselor.
That was artificial gravity. That's different.
So maybe this was artificial gravity.
But it wasn't internal. It was, yeah. The answer is nothing about that made sense.
Yeah.
Because yeah. Also, it would have destroyed everything as soon as it entered the atmosphere. But that's...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. That gravity should have been problematic right from the beginning. Of the moon?
The gravity is not the problem. The problem is when something of that size bashes into the Earth's atmosphere, it would compress all the air and turn everything under it into a massive fiery shock wave that would disintegrate everything in its path. That thing, that size, landing on Earth would destroy everything on Earth. Like that's just you couldn't do that.
Ask the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.
You can't. They're dead because a fraction of that size landed on Earth. Now, granted, it wasn't going super fast, but it would still compress all that air. Like there's still stuff that it's squeezing underneath and has to go somewhere. Like you'll notice that like there wasn't even wind. Like there should have been like everything under when it I have a hard time describing things like that.
You know what we need to do?
Make more whooshing sounds?
We need to make a small movie about that.
I feel like we don't have the special effects budget. You know what the small movie would be? A spacecraft that long, that big, just kind of whooshing down into the Earth's atmosphere and landing. It would look like us being like, hey, there's a ship approaching, and then just dying instantly, a fiery wind-propelled death.
Yeah, so would you say make 10 minutes?
I don't think it would last 10 minutes. We would just blow something up and be like, that's the movie. It would be very short. It would be very short. But, and I'm gonna pull out a big but here. I don't think that it's appropriate to criticize the physics in a movie like this because of course none of it makes sense. It's not supposed to make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. So I have to stop myself and say, no, it's not supposed to make sense. It's okay for a spaceship the size of the moon to clip the moon and it'd be fine. The moon be fine. The moon's fine. Nothing happened to the moon. The moon's fine. And it's okay for a giant spaceship the size of the moon to land on the Atlantic Ocean and have like the boats in the Atlantic Ocean still be fine. Like they're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, that
it's
boat
fine.
that's right there, that threw me off too. Like what?
Like the guys from Norway. Do you think they got their money? I kind of hope they got their money.
100 million. Yeah.
I kind of hope they got their money.
Yeah, tell them to do it for 100 million. Deal. What?
Yeah, they're doing good. If they survive, they shouldn't have survived. Everything should just be dead.
None of us should have survived.
No, we wouldn't have survived that. Nothing about that is survivable.
Cockroaches?
I don't even think cockroaches could survive that. Because what happens when you compress and explode a cockroach at the same time and add fire and can
we try that?
No, I don't think we can. I don't think you're allowed to destroy living things on YouTube.
It's special effects, folk.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Like I said, our audience, you hear that?
Yes.
I said it's special effects, folk.
Folk.
Not folks.
Folks. Yeah, because there's just the one. We have the one audience member. But again, like I said, it doesn't matter. I need to stop obsessing over it. What else do you have?
Okay. So, dude, who called? I think he called. Was it the stand-in for Will Smith? Call his mom. Says, "I need you to go to your sister's," or somebody.
No,
called
that was the. Wasn't that Secretary of Defense? The guy that became president and gave a speech immediately after becoming president, because that's what presidents do in these movies.
Well, yeah, William Fichtner.
Yeah.
He said, "I need you to go to your sister's." Okay.
That was a line from the first movie.
Okay.
Because Jeff Goldblum's boss at the newspaper, as soon as they found out things was happening, he calls and he's like, "You got to go to your sister's house upstate or something, because that matters."
Okay, but at this point, they know a little bit more.
Yeah.
What is going to her sister's going to protect her from?
Boredom? I don't know.
You can die with your sister.
Yeah, maybe people just like dying with family. I don't know. At this point, I think they probably rightfully assumed that the entire world was going to be destroyed, because they take your molten core, which they have to say molten every time they say core for some reason. Why can't they just say core? Everybody knows that. Well, not everybody. Some people think the Earth's flat, but everybody that knows anything, some people do. Everybody that knows anything knows that the core of the Earth is molten. You don't have to say it's a molten core. No, it's not particularly. Did you not see the movie? It was clearly round in the shot where the hat
clearly
was
written by people. It was clearly written by round earthers.
They're called globers. Globalists? No, globalists is a different thing.
I like round earthers.
Globe earthers. They're globe earthers.
See, really, they have this big molten rock supporting this big platform, which is our core.
Molten core. Well, then
Just-
why didn't they just go underneath and get it from there?
Because then the movie would be really short and different.
According to
Luluminik.
Chris Nashawati of
Formerly of
Entertainment
Entertainment
Weekly, this movie was already disposable and shockingly inept.
Yeah.
Why not make it shorter?
So I like saying formerly of Entertainment Weekly. I don't know, because his
yeah.
reviews were shockingly inept.
I've only read the one. As we're sitting here criticizing the movie.
Yeah.
In a fun way. But yeah, stop saying molten core. That's annoying. Also, the circle, when they were talking to the circle at the end, they're like, they need the cores for power and to grow their technology. What does that mean?
What do you mean, does that mean? So from what I
How does
understand...
a big ball of lava grow your technology? Do they put it in the research table and then you learn a new recipe?
From playing Minecraft and Valheim, the cores are important. They have new cores in Valheim now. If you've ever played the game, you'll see. They have the black cores.
I've played it. Why are they black?
Dark cores, black, because I don't know. I didn't color them in.
Okay.
I think they're black cores. Stop. You're painting me to be this bad person. Why did you say black?
No, I said, why are they black? Because usually the cores are molten. Why are they not molten?
Well, because we don't need to see molten all the time.
They do. That was one of my criticisms of the movie. So let's move on because
we have the lava cores. Are they lava cores? The first one's the Surtling cores.
Surtling cores, yeah. They're red.
They really picked on Will Smith's character, okay? So his son, so he lost his dad, from what I understand, in a really goofy way. It was like a training accident.
Yeah.
And then his...
Test pilot. It's not goofy. It's like Top Gun.
And of course, he had to have an issue with his dad. Dude, your dad's dead. Get over it and start showing some respect, son, or else we're gonna...
You just wanted to get a slapping joke in there.
So, and then his mom, that was a real slap in the face too. His mom gets up onto the roof of the thing. At some point, even the second time watching this, going, okay, she's gonna survive and pop out somewhere.
Yeah, that was a weird moment. You introduced the guy's mom as a character. I mean, we know who his mom is because she was in the first movie. Because everybody in this movie was in the first movie. We know who his mom is, but why bring her into this? Why do we need to involve her in all of this? Just so we can kill her?
That whole scene around that hospital was unnecessary.
Yeah, all of it.
The whole thing.
You could have cut that. The movie was like 2 hours and 2 minutes long. You could have cut it down to an even 2 hours and just left that whole thing out. Because what is the point of that?
And even when they're talking about his dad dying in a training accident, it's like, oh, and it's a shame how his mother died too. Don't even have to say how.
That was weird exposition, yeah.
And then you don't have to have any scenes with her in it.
But you know what? I hope that baby's happy.
Oh yeah, there was a baby in there too.
I know. She had to be saving like a baby. Because that's like a pregnant, or not, she wasn't pregnant anymore, she was holding the baby. A mother and a baby are the only people worth saving in a hospital. I've learned that from movies.
That whole scene was extraneous.
Extraneous?
Yes, that's what I said.
Close enough.
It's like just introducing the character, could have totally taken it out. Could have had her just die with Will Smith, and he took her up for the training exercise.
I feel like they really badly wanted us to know that she's not a stripper anymore. She's a doctor now.
I wish more of my doctors were strippers.
I don't feel like my doctor would make a good stripper.
Yeah, that's true. They're mostly 90-year-old men.
Okay, my doctor's 70, so we're good. It just wants me to update my Creative Cloud. Twice. So what else we got other than Dr. Stripper Mom being extraneous?
Brent Spiner was pretty funny. Go to your sisters. I mentioned something about Stargate. Some of the symbols look kind of Stargate-ish, but...
Oh yeah, the weird alien. Well, you can only do weird alien language in so many different ways.
Yeah, like...
I can't read that.
The language barrier. Can't read my writing.
No.
Okay, seriously. They didn't put subtitles in when the Chinese people were talking?
No, I don't think so.
We were supposed to not know what they were saying?
I think so. It probably wasn't important.
They couldn't afford the subtitles.
I feel like you're going for a pun there, but I don't know what you were trying to say.
No.
Afford? You emphasize the word Ford, and I'm confused now.
They couldn't afford the subtitles.
So they couldn't afford the subtitles.
Yeah.
Okay.
After all the special effects.
Right. I feel like that's why they couldn't afford Will Smith either. Would this? Here's a question. Here's a good question.
What are we going to cut from this movie? Let's cut Will Smith and the subtitles.
That'll bring us into budget. Let's still bring in.
We're going to cut Will Smith. We still got $42. All right,
subtitles as well. Yeah, that's a good point. Here's a question though, because we're near the end. Let's end the discussion on this question. Would this movie have been better if Will Smith was involved somehow?
He would have. Okay, so if he was involved,
Keeping in mind, this was 2016 Will Smith, not 2024 Will Smith,
not the post Chris Rock,
who several people have lost respect for some reason. I don't know why.
If they're gonna do, did Harry Connick Jr. die in the first movie?
Yeah, that's why Will Smith was mad, because he killed his wingmate with the cigars. So he went.
They
He
killed
was
him
like,
with cigars.
no, his wingmate had the cigars. I don't think the cigars were involved in his death in any way.
So he got goosed.
He got goosed. Yeah, more or less, because that means a thing that didn't happen in this movie. But yeah.
Well, do you understand my reference? He got goosed.
I know the Top Gun reference. I'm just saying getting goosed also means something else that you should probably Google later.
No, yeah.
Just so you understand what I'm talking about.
I get that.
But he
Okay, so
died. He got shot down by the alien, and then Will Smith was like, "Oh, I'm serious now," and he went and he beat the alien in a race to the cliff, and then punched him in the face.
See, okay, so then having his mother die would make more sense if Will Smith was in this movie, because if his mother died and Will Smith was still in the movie and we would have a reason to still be mad at him, Will Smith could have been the one to drive the bomb into the Queen.
Oh. Are you allowed to kill Will Smith in movies? Not you personally, but I mean you in the greater Hollywood sense. Because there are some actors that like have it in their contracts that they're not allowed to get killed. Are you allowed to kill Will Smith? Can you think of a movie where Will Smith has died?
I was trying, it's very vague. I Am Legend. Did he die at the end of that?
Okay, that's a point of contention, because there are two endings to I Am Legend.
Oh.
There's one where I think he died.
Is either of them good?
What?
Is either of them good?
Did you not like that movie?
I don't know. I fell asleep
How do you fall asleep during I Am
a
Legend?
number of times.
How long is that movie?
Long enough to make me go,
It's a good movie. No, I don't think. I think in one version of the ending, I think he does die, but in another version, I think he survives and finds a cure or something. It's all vague and like hinted at.
okay.
But sorry, spoilers for the ending of I Am Legend if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, so I'm going back to my vague memory of this. There was a woman involved.
There was a woman
maybe
involved.
she's the one that died at the end of it. So yeah, I guess he was trying to save her, but didn't she end up dying? One of them ended up dying.
So Will Smith may have died in I Am Legend.
Okay.
So what year did I Am Legend come out?
Earlier.
Earlier than this?
Earlier than today.
Earlier than today.
I don't know.
You're probably right, because
Yeah.
we've both seen it. So it would have had to have come out already. Because I wonder if Will Smith had never died in a movie before that, when did his career start to take a downturn? Or did it? Or is Will Smith still on top of the world? I don't know. Did Will Smith's career peak at Wild Wild West?
I like that movie.
It was a good movie. It was funny in a sad kind of way, but it was a good movie.
He played Rocky, but not Rocky Balboa.
I liked the giant spider.
What's the boxer? Ali, he played Ali. Did they show a death scene for Muhammad Ali in that movie? Because I didn't watch that movie.
I'm pretty sure Muhammad Ali's still alive.
I knew that.
Is he?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think he is.
Did Will Smith die?
He played Tiger Woods' dad. Is Tiger Woods' dad still alive? Didn't he just win an Oscar for that? Wasn't that at the same? Didn't
Tiger
he
Woods'
just?
dad?
Yeah. In that movie about Tiger Woods.
Was
Didn't
that King
the day
Richard?
he slapped?
No.
No, that's a Shakespeare play. No, it was called King Richard. Didn't he win an Oscar right before slapping Chris Rock? No, I think he did. I think he did. Was it after?
He went up and gave the speech afterwards.
So he slapped Chris Rock and then had to go make a speech? I don't watch the Oscars, so I didn't know it happened after. Was it awkward? Like, was everybody like, oh,
No, the audience yeah, I don't know.
Did they still cheer?
Yeah.
Man, people are weird.
Yeah.
I'd be like, if I was in the audience at the
People are
Oscars, which I
strange.
never would be, when you're a stranger.
Faces come at you.
I don't know the rest of the song.
I don't know if I got the words right, but it's like that.
Like, I feel like if I was in the audience there and like he like slapped him, right? And then he goes up to collect his award, I'd be like, isn't that the guy that just slapped the guy?
And even if you forgot, as soon as you went like this,
Oh, that's the sound it made.
there you go.
Good point. It's like PTSD for everyone in the audience.
Pretty
Did Chris Rock
traumatic
clap?
slapping.
Did Chris Rock clap? Is he the one that... No, because they bring people up to announce the winners. I was going to say, did he have to announce the winner? I feel like that would have been... If I was going to watch an Oscars... Are they episodes? Show? If I had watched that season of the Oscars, I feel like if I had watched any season of the Oscars, that would be the one to watch. But I feel like we're digressing because the movie we're reviewing did not win an Oscar,
So, your
and it
question
did not
is-
star Will Smith.
So would it have been better if Will Smith was in it?
It would have made more money.
Yeah.
More people would have watched it.
I think it would have been better if they were actually allowed to kill him because, like,
You might be allowed to kill Will Smith. I don't
him
know.
flying the bomb in would have made sense because his wife just died.
Oh yeah, and he can be like, I have nothing to live for anymore. Quiet, son.
But then,
Because his son was in the movie still.
then Bill Pullman would be out of a job.
Yeah.
All
Did
right.
he? Yeah. But he would. Yeah, but no, because he would have been here for the next movie. Because who's going to make?
And he could have died in the third one.
He could have. Is Bill Pullman still alive?
Yes.
Who died recently?
Oh, Darth Vader.
No, I don't mean that recently. I mean somebody who I like vaguely associate with being Bill Pullman-ish died in the last 5 or 10 years. Did
In the last what years?
5 or 10 years?
Are you thinking of Bill Paxton?
Bill Paxton. Yeah, is Bill Paxton dead?
When he died, yeah.
He is dead then.
He's dead.
That's who I'm
unfortunately.
thinking of who died.
That's one of the ones that made me really sad. I really liked Bill Paxton.
Oh, I like him too. And I didn't mean to sound so cheerful when I said that he died. I was just happy that I remembered a thing. But yeah.
Yeah, if we ever get the aliens or anything, he pretty much pulled his character from Weird Science and really just made him a more adult version of that same childish character in Weird Science and brought him forward into Aliens.
It's game over, man. Game over. He did that line, right?
Something like that.
Okay. It's game over. So that's the end of our discussion because we've been talking for a long time and I don't want to anymore. So what are we...
Cut this down to the same length as the other two?
Heck no. I can try, but no, I don't think I can because we're at like almost 2 hours. I can't cut half of this out. I mean, I can, but should I? This is going to be way too long. So let's quickly do our review rankings, stars.
I don't know how bad a movie has to be for me to give it a 1. I did enjoy the action, so...
I love how neither of us think about this in the slightest bit until it's time to actually say
Well,
what our
because
rankings are.
we change our mind when we get here, so I don't want to keep saying the answer is C, so I don't want to say 3. I'm going to go with 2. And I'm not going to give any halves. I'm going to go with 2.
I don't think you've said 2 before, or 3 before.
C-3PO. You just said a droid name 3 before. That's like the
BB-8?
third. That's the third version of one of the Data robots.
Is it really?
B4.
Or after.
Dr. Sung's penchant for whimsical names.
Yes. Because Data is super whimsical. Not the point though. So you're going with a 2?
I'm going with a 2. In the fact that I think, yes, you should watch it. It's a fun little romp. A lot of things don't make sense.
You just call it a romp.
A romp. Yeah, I'll give it a 2. Because, I mean, what we gave Warcraft a 4.
Yeah, but I feel like we're biased about that one.
Yeah, these are our biased opinions. I want to touch 3, but for some reason I want to stay away from 3. except for the most extreme cases. Because 3 is that mid-range.
3 is extreme?
3 is that
I
mid-range.
feel like 1 and 5 are extreme.
No, I'm looking like it's got to be like either I don't want to give it a bad, I don't want to give it a good. I'm giving it a 3. Maybe this can be a 3, but I think that's like so mid. It's like right down. That's like not making a decision. 3.
No,
is
3 is not
decision.
making a decision. 3 is 3 out of 5, which I feel the need to point this out. 3 is not half of 5, so it's technically not mid. 2.5 would be, because we can do 0. We established that earlier. So mid would be 2.5.
Oh yeah, I'm still thinking of 1 as the bottom.
And also,
It's the
a movie
median.
being mid is completely acceptable. Movies can be mid. In fact, out of spite, I'm going to give this movie a 2.5.
All right, fine. It's your show. I'll give it a 3.
No,
I changed
you
my
can
mind
give it a
to
2.
3.
Give it a
I
2.
changed my mind to 3. It's not a 2. It's a 3.
It's a 3, really?
Yeah, it's enjoyable. to
It's
watch.
enjoyable, yeah.
It's not scientifically accurate.
No, it wasn't supposed to be. That was just a tangent that I accidentally go on sometimes.
So yeah, I wanted to give it a 3, but I didn't want to give a 3, so I went with 2. I regret that
So you're
decision.
gonna give
I redact my 2. I may even in the future redact my allergy to 0.5s, but I'm going to go with 3.
There's nothing wrong with a 0.5. In fact, no. I was gonna do something really wild and give it a 2.75, but I don't know how to divide the stars in the graphic like that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you divide a star into 4? Like lengthwise?
You can divide it into 5 and just call each point.
Oh, so it's really a scale out of 25 if we're counting each point.
No,
I'm giving it a
it's a
2.5.
scale out of 30.
No, because 0 stars don't have any points.
Ah, but 0.5?
0.2 would be the first point. Wouldn't it?
This is why our videos are so long.
So I'm giving it a 2.5 because I agree it was fun to watch, but it like objectively wasn't like good. The only characters it made me care about were Brent Spiner and his boyfriend. I don't know their names either, but I literally don't know any of the characters' names because I didn't care. They even had a subplot romance that I left out of my synopsis because I like almost aggressively didn't care. I was like, why is this a thing that's happening?
Is that the Jeff Goldblum doctor one, or
No, it's the friend, not brother, and the Chinese pilot.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is, it was a thing that happened, but why did it? It didn't need to.
Okay, so.
Oh, we're going back into the discussion
the
now.
Cheesiest freaking pickup line you can do, and it kind of worked for him.
Yeah. That was rough. So this is why I'm going with a 2.5, because there were so many things in this movie that I was like, that just made me groan a little bit. But it wasn't like bad. It wasn't like 0 stars bad. It was still fun to watch. It was just, it could have been better.
It was not disposable and shockingly inept.
No, it was disposable and unsurprisingly apt.
As the former writer of Entertainment Weekly, Chris Nashwati, said.
Sorry to hear about your firing.
Get hit with losses.
Why? This is clearly, I'm pretty sure something has to be reasonably interpreted as us being serious
Okay.
in order to sue us.
This is how important you are to me. I have to keep looking up your name. So Chris Nashwati. If you happen to see this review, or if you know Chris Nashwati, link him. We'd like your comments
Let's
down
be
below.
honest, nobody knows Chris Nashwati. He doesn't even work for
Entertainment Weekly.
He doesn't even work for Entertainment Weekly anymore. He might, I don't know. This was almost 10 years ago, so I was going to say 20 years ago, but it wasn't.
If you know Chris Nashwati, let him know that we did review, and we bombed his bombing review. Ask him to leave a comment down below.
He doesn't have a YouTube
If
account.
you are Chris Nashwati. Nothing personal,
He exclusively writes his reviews on pen and paper. He doesn't even own a computer.
It's nothing personal. We just absolutely hate you. I'm kidding.
He has a fun name to say. It's a fun name to say, which we're probably mispronouncing.
Yes, please give us a phonetic way of saying your name. I think I got it right.
Nashawati.
No, Nashwati.
not sweaty.
See, I'm trying to say it. He's trying to make fun of you.
I am not making fun of anyone. We should end this, though, before we actually get ourselves into trouble. Do we ever say anything to sign off, or would we just end? I don't remember our first two movies.
So have we decided what we're going to give this thing as an overall? You said 2.5, and I said 3.
Oh, see, we've gone difficult. So 2.5 plus 3. Let's try and actually do the math this time. 2.5 plus 3 is 5.5, right?
Out of 10.
5.5. Well, no, because we have to.
55%.
I want to use my original graphic for once. I don't want to like change it by making it longer and shorter. So let's try and actually do math here. So 2.5 plus 3 is 5.5 divided by 2 is 2.75. So now I'm back to having to do 3/4 of a star, which I don't know how to do.